All right, I really want to thank you all for coming. This is an amazing moment. In my life, I've never witnessed or never been part of something that is exactly like this. At 2 a.m., slightly after 2 a.m. in the morning, we received several calls that came in, and we immediately dispatched some people on the scene. We had several people that reported that there were bright lights that were in the sky, and actually one reported that there was something that made impact. Now, it was somewhere due east, around 200 yards due east of the I-75 corridor, inside the Lee County line. And it's a very remote area. So as we dispatched cars and we dispatched several units out there, I was called in around 20 minutes after this. When I got on scene, it was what we would typically call a flying saucer. It had the shape of a flying saucer, and for my description, that's what I would call it. But the most amazing thing were there these 7 individuals that were standing outside. Now, they looked humanoid. They looked kind of like you and I. They actually were probably, I would say, a little bit smaller, around 4-foot size, a little bit smaller in both size and stature. The person that was the actual leader, which his name was Tria, talked to us for a little while. Now, you're going to imagine this. We showed up. We've never seen anything like this before. Within a period of 30 minutes to 40 minutes, we had actually a conversation with what are called aliens. After that time, there was a government body that came in, and again, to this moment, I was completely pulled rank. We had to leave the scene. We had no other choice. Now, the amazing thing is the so-called beings spoke English. And as they discussed it with me, their primary mode of communication is thought, is telepathy. However, they can mold themselves and talk in any language that is out there, including English. Soft-spoken, kind of somewhat of a Middle European type accent. And as we conversed, we had all sorts of things that we talked about within this 30 to 40 minute period of time before we were escorted away. Now, this, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to apprehend it. It wasn't a domestic disturbance situation. It was just, they were there. They were non-threatening. I didn't feel like we were in danger at any moment. And we were able to find out a little bit about them. And then an entire team of government officials came in, kind of like you would see in a movie. And the number one thing they told me was that I was not to discuss any of this. And that is why I'm speaking to the camera today. That's why I've asked all of you to come out. At that moment, there were a number of government, military, that secluded the area, and we were asked to immediately escort. What happened from that point on, I really don't know. But I do know that this was an amazing event that happened right here in Toastville. Now, at this moment, I would accept any questions. Are there any questions? Yes?
Yes, Mayor Cross. Chris Conley, Fox 4 News. Did you at any time feel threatened during this situation?
You know, honestly, they are smaller than us. They seem to be compassionate, somewhat motherly kind of like characteristics. They had no weapons. We didn't go into the spacecraft itself, but from our conversation, they told us they were here to help us save planet Earth. It was a very, very simple message. They said that they were the first of many of their kind to come, and why they chose Toastville, why they chose Lee County, Florida, I have no idea. But truly, we didn't feel threatened. Even our police dogs were like, they're wagging their tails. I mean, that's a great indication that it's a friendly encounter. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Mayor Cross, Cindy O from Intergalactical News. Did they explain what part of the universe they were from or what planet?
You know, we asked that question, and Tria, the one that was the more leader type, actually pointed to a constellation. And although you can't really make out the planet, the star that was there, and apparently they have what's called two stars. It's a completely different situation. They say it's a planet that's lush and green just like ours, but it actually has a larger and a dwarf star in their sky. The larger star was the star that you can vaguely make out. However, they haven't been there in years. They didn't grow up there. These were what they call the team of travelers. So they never really, although they called that their home, they themselves were space people. They were travelers. And that was pretty much as I could get out of that conversation. Any other questions?
Yes. What was the spacecraft like? And can you describe its shape or any other characteristics, its size?
Well, it wasn't awfully big. When you think of mothership, you think of something that's really, really large, like a football field. It could probably fit in this room. 25, maybe 30 feet in diameter. And just like you imagine, flying saucer-like. It had a little bit of a point to the top. It had structured landing gear. What was the material? I don't know. I mean, to me, I would assume metal. It looked like stainless steel, but it had a luminous glow to it. I wish we could spend more time, but what happened was we were immediately escorted out of the way, and it's still in my mind as far as what it looks like. I could draw a picture of it. But as far as the exact engineering of that machine, I think we would all in this room love to know. Good question. Any other questions?
Hi, yes. What branch of the government was it that came onto the scene?
You know, I wish I knew. If you've ever seen the movie Men in Black, he showed me his badge, his title, and I basically, like I said, I was pulled rank. I was outnumbered. He referred to himself as what was called Black Book Operations. And there was nothing that I was allowed to speak about. Again, that's why I'm speaking on camera today. I believe this has to get out there. That's why I called each of you to this interview. There was a large number of them. They came quickly. We were escorted quickly. We have been back out to the site. The spaceship is not there. There's just a small broken branches on the ground. It basically looks like a scene that has not been touched. Any other further questions? I'll take one more question.
Yes, Major Cross.
Yes.
Are you aware this is a Toastmasters meeting? And you are doing your final presentation from your Communicating on Video Advanced series book?
No, really?
That's it.
I thought the aliens really landed. So apparently, I guess I just kind of finished up my last presentation in this book. Thank you, everyone.